I haven't been live in forever and ever and ever, amen. And Rymerpt, I don't even know who I am. Rymerpt PT, Robert C. Peters. Yeah, this is my YouTube channel. Usually I just make videos, kind of mess around. But I thought I'd go live. I've been popping into people's lives and they're like, who are you? I am Rymerpt PT. Rymerpt. And the reason for that is, let me tell you a little story here. Back when I was in the Navy, well, I got a hole in it, but I was on the good God. I was on the USS Midway aircraft carrier out of Yokosuka, Japan, from 83 until 87. Yeah, USS Midway, baby. And while I was on board, lots of free time because we were out in the middle of the ocean, and sometimes we were on 3 different shifts. So there was a morning crew, there was an afternoon crew, and there was an evening crew. So 3 different shifts. So we had a lot of free time, part of the time, because we were out in the Indian Ocean and it was hot, and the captain took mercy upon our souls. I spent a lot of time writing, and I've always been a wordsmith, and as a result, I was writing poems. People discovered that I was good at it, and they asked me if I could write a poem for their girlfriend, or a short story, kind of a love letter for their girlfriend. And yeah, I got paid for that. You ever heard of Cyrano de Bergerac? Look him up. Same type of principle. Anyway, my last name's Peters. So on the back of my hat, when you're out at sea, you got to wear a ball cap. When you're in port, you wear the white cap like you see sailors wear. But the back of my ball cap, they gave it to me and it said, Poet Pete, short for Peters. So that was my monocle for the 4 years that I was in the Navy. I was writing poems for people. They'd pay me $5. I'd write them a poem. They'd send it to their girlfriend. The girlfriend thought it was written by them, and everything was hunky-dory. Now that was back in the 80s, and I hadn't been, quote-unquote, online. I'm not even quite sure that computers were really chugging along then. But when I got out of the Navy in 87, my mom and dad had a computer, but they were farting around with it without being connected to the internet. When I finally got connected to the internet, probably a little bit later than some other folks that knew about the internet, I got on there and I wanted a handle. You know, everybody's got their own little handle. And I put in Poet Pete. And for whatever reason, they wouldn't do it because it was taken already. I'm like, fuck. So I did, I tried all kinds of different combinations. And I thought, you know, it'd be funny. I'm a rhymer, a poet, a rhymer. And my last name is Peters. So if I do Rymerpt PT, it's like Poet Pete. But it'd be even funnier if I knocked that H out of there. And I am a poet that can't spell Pete. Rymerpt PT. Yeah, I know when it comes across your screen, you look at it, how the hell do I pronounce that? That's why next to it, I put Robert C. Peters. Because large majority of the people nowadays know me as Robert C. Peters. There's a few of you that know me as Peters Piper. I make 420 pipes, boys and girls. I make them out of some olive burl, manzanita, local manzanita, cherry, plum, walnut, beautiful. And I put a glass bowl in them and a carburetor. And now I don't partake, so I'm not completely up on, you know, terminology and so on and so forth. But my clientele say that it's a damn good pipe. Damn good pipe. Now, I'm part of a little place up in Cool, California, And if you know California and you know Sacramento area, outside of Sacramento, we got foothills. A little bit further outside of Sacramento, we got Coloma. And that's where gold was discovered by James Marshall. And that's why California is what it is. All those people came from God knows where and just flooded California because he had discovered gold. That's right around the corner from where I live. Probably less than an hour I could get to Coloma. Now, up on Highway 49, which connects to all those little bitty gold towns from the 1850s that are still, that are still maintained, and you can go into a bar and get yourself a beer just like a Gold Rush person would do, or sarsaparilla, or good God, I don't know, Rockstar. But along Highway 49, there's littered just many little gold towns that have survived since the 1850s. They've redone some of them. They've faked it for others. But anyway, there's this little town called Cool along Highway 49 between Placerville and Auburn. One direction you're heading toward Placerville, the other direction you're heading toward Auburn, and so forth. And down in that area is also Coloma. Anyway, on the top of that, the divide on the top of 49 between Placerville and Auburn is a little bitty town called Cool. And Cool is where 49 intersects with Highway 193. Anyway, little bitty podunk town. It's got a gas station. It's got a place called Rosie's, which is a fairly nice little restaurant. And they also have a pizza joint. Anyway, there's a place within there called Joe's Emporium. Been there just a little while. And I've got friends in Cool. And I also make walking sticks. I gave a set of walking sticks to an elderly couple that are friends of mine. They're the parents of a pretty close friend of mine. And I made one for my friend's mother. And she likes mousse and coffee. So I drew up and down the walking sticks. I drew some moose, and I drew some moose drinking coffee. I'm a cartoonist. And she just thought that was a cat's meow. She wanted one for her hubby, who likes cows, because they live on a ranch and have cows. Or they used to have cows. Now the cows are still there, but they're owned by somebody else. They kind of are babysitting the cows for the other guy. Nevertheless, he likes cows. So I made him a walking stick with cows on it. So we got these two walking sticks that are kind of floating around Cool when they go out walking around and go on bike trails or what have you. They use these sticks. And they discovered this brand new place in I can't pronounce your names. Saruden and Sergio. Howdy. Anyway, they went into this brand new place called Joe's Emporium, and the lady, the elderly lady who is the mother of my friend, had her walking stick with the moose on it. She walks into Joe's Emporium, and Joe, who was the owner, sitting there, she says, "Ooh, that's awesome. I've never seen anything like that. Where did your walking stick come from?" Of course, my friend talked me up and said, "Hey, my friend Robert makes these." So next thing I know, I get a call, and I'm supposed to go see Joe, the owner of Joe's Emporium. So I grabbed, and they told me that she might be interested, and I took probably about 20 of my walking sticks, which had various cartoon characters on them, the Archies, Blondie, 101 Dalmatians. Hello, what is that? Resonating Art by Amy M. Hi there. Anyway, 101 Dalmatians, Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin, Marvin the Martian, Scooby-Doo. Anyway, cartoon characters, you name it, I've made it into a walking stick. And I've got about 20 of these in my car when I pull up to Joe's Emporium. And I also grabbed a bin of my carvings and put that in the back of the car thinking, well, maybe. I go in and I say, hello, Joe. My friend Pauline had a walking stick walked in here and said that you wanted to see me and some of my walking. You're him? Did you bring him with you? I'm like, yeah, hi. I didn't even have time to take him in the store. She followed me out to my car well, I parked right in front. She followed me out to the car. And she, let me see, let me see, let me see. And she's looking at the walking sticks. And then I say, well, I've also got this bin. And she, she helped me open the bin, looked into the bin. She says, oh my God, Robert, I want you in my store. This is a consignment where I'm inviting artisans from around the area, and I want to build up my store with unique one-of-a-kind items like this, and you fit the bill perfectly. Next thing I know, I got about 200 pieces of my art in her store. Wonderful woman, Jolene. She's also if you've ever heard of Reiki, it's kind of a spiritual energy thing. She's a Reiki master teacher, and she does Reiki sessions, I suppose you call them. People pay to have Reiki, and she does those. She's also doing events. She used her head. I tell you what, she's inviting the community. She invited kids from the neighborhood to come and make slime. You know how kids are about slime. Oh my God, that went over really well. She also hooked up with a local artist who paints, and they'll have a come paint party. They'll sit around in a circle and they'll learn how to paint from this professional painter. I think she made something with local kids that do homeschooling. So they've got a game night where the homeschooling kids are able to get together and have a meeting place right there at Joe's Emporium. Anyway, place is awesome. Now, what am I going to do today? I'm going to fart around. I think I'm going to make a wood spirit. I've got a couple pieces of olive that I want to play with. And I'm going to reverse this camera so that we're looking down on that. I'm going to put on my glasses, going to put on my mask. Just going to carve away. You can watch over my shoulder and check it out. Oh, fun. I love carving faces. Yeah, I have fun with them. And, oh my gosh, guys, if you carve and you use a Dremel, you got to get these. I'll turn the camera around and you can see them. These, brand new from Kutzel, and I'm not affiliated, but hey, hello, Kutzel. I'd love to be affiliated. It's a 4-piece rotary burr detail kit. Kutzel bits. They're little, and they're awesome. I'm going to be using those in some of my process of carving today. I'm just going to screw around, and it's going to be a bumpy ride. I'm going to set you up on my stand here, and then hopefully it'll situate so that you can look over my shoulder and watch me carve. So bear with me. Here goes. See if I can figure this out. There we go. Turn around. There we go. Kinda. Oh, it's got a bad. Clean the lens. Oh, look at that. Get the boogers off. Oh, gross. It's got. Close your eyes for a second. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Let me hook you up in here. Hopefully, I don't screw it up. I got this thing going here. Sorry. Okay. Oh, that's not too bad. These are the burrs I'm talking about. These are awesome. And I actually won these. If you carve and you're not familiar, you might want to check out Kindred Spirits on Facebook. That's a group that I'm part of. Wonderful people up in there. This is kind of my moniker when I make videos. I say, well, hello, boys and girls, and so on and so forth. Put that aside. Put these aside. My place is a mess. You gotta excuse me. And here's a couple pieces of olive. that I'm going to mess around with. I think I'm going to make a face right here. Because when this is polished up, that olive is bitchin' looking. Okay. I don't know how well you're going to be able to. Let me see if I can. If I'm hanging out right in this area, I suppose that'll work. That's even better. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna hang out. Okay, that'll give me an idea. I'm gonna play with the Kutzel Extreme Flame Burr to start things out. I want a round and get some of this wood out of my way. Where'd my box go? Okay, we're gonna. Now, I'm not going to be able to keep track of all your guys' comments, so kind of talk amongst yourself, and I'm just going to carve. I'm thinking people might want to watch that. And if I'm all by myself, then I'm all by myself. But I thought it would be a good idea for me to do a live now and again. I'll try to look up and pay attention a little bit here, but probably be carving more than paying attention to what you guys are saying. So I've got a couple moderators already. I've got a number 1 and a number 2. Please hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Okay, where's my stuff? Got my mask over here. I'm not sure if I want to wear my goggles or my glasses. It's hard to see with those goggles. But on the other hand, it protects better. Let's see what I got going here. Okay. Where's my glasses? Okay, well, I'm going to definitely wear my mask. Put that on. And you're probably not going to hear me because I'm going to be under the mask. And if I try to talk, it'll be I'll sound like the teacher from Charlie Brown. Anyway, here we go. Oh, there's my glasses. Ah, found them. Okay, turn on my Rycon air filtration system over to my left. And I'm going to turn on my I've got a Dremel 4000 hooked to a flex shaft, and on the flex shaft I've got a Kutzel Extreme Flame Burr, and let's get her done. There's nothing worse than hitting your finger, boys and girls, so I'm going to tape my fingers. I'm pretty good at it. I haven't hit my finger in an awfully long time, but that adds a little extra protection. Just an added precaution. I wanted to say that wearing gloves is also a really good idea, but on the other hand, if the glove fits loosely and your burr hits it, it's going to tangle and it's going to pop your flex shaft. So this might be a better idea. Carving away. Hey there, Perry. It's not a good idea to wear gloves. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but taping your fingers is not a bad idea. I'm probably not going to be paying attention to what you all are saying, but enjoy yourself. So, how we doing up in here? Looking good, right? Hello, Suzanne. Thank you for coming. I'm just screwing around. Watch this. By the way, boys and girls, if you don't have one of these in your shop, you're an idiot. Just saying. Go get you one. All right. Make him look evil. Evil, I tell you. Oh my God. You gotta forgive me. I'm not paying attention to your guys' conversations. I'm just making me a little dude and having some fun. This stuff I got at the Dollar Tree for $1, and I use it on my dragons and on anything I want to have cool looking eyes. And I'm pretty sure it glows in the dark. You guys that are sending me messages and I'm hearing clicking, I'll check them later, but I'm a little busy. I'm sorry. Evil eyes. Okay. Sit there for a minute. See what other colors I got in my little satchel. Oh boy. Oh, I got white. Cool. Somebody's sending me all kinds of messages. My phone keeps going click, click, click. I'm going to check them later, guys. I'm sorry. Whoever's sending me messages is going crazy. Oh, that one's clear. Cool. All right. Give him some red horns. Not much in that one. Shucks. I don't think that's gonna work. Crap. How about this one? Yeah, I go into the Dollar Tree and I buy a whole fistful of nail polish. They look at me sideways. But you know what? This is California. So, not as sideways as you would think. Tell you what, we got some strange people living in California. Good God. Strange people. But who am I to judge? What the hell? Do what you want to do. Weird folks. I'm just glad I'm not on the dating scene anymore. I mean, granted, I've been married 25 years. Boy, I would not want to date in today's day and age. Excuse me, sir. Ma'am? Cat? Do you have a penis or a vagina? I can't tell. Oh, you identified as a them? Okay, whatever. Fuck. That'd suck. Everybody's got to wear a sign. Oh my God. You know, I'm not saying they can't do what they want to do, and more power to them, but damn. It's confusing for an old fucker like me. I just don't know anymore. I'm looking for Adam's apples. And no, I'm not homophobic by any means. I don't care what they do. That's their time. Let them do it. I don't give a shit. Quite confusing for an old man, though, I tell you what. It's a trip when you're like double the age of most people around. Good God. I talked to one guy. I'm a cashier at Home Depot, so I talk to everybody. I talked to one guy the other day. I swore he was from my same genre. he was 30. I'm 62, double the guy's age. I didn't know it until I asked him, just had a casual conversation. How old are you, dude? Because I was making references and he was not getting it. You see, I remember when I was a kid, I could get a candy bar for a nickel. I could get a large candy bar for 10 cents. I could get a comic book for 10 cents. A penny got you 2 bazooka bubble gums or 2 licorice ropes for a penny. Me and my buddies would look along the side of the road and pick up bottles, take them into the grocery store, and they'd give us money for them, and we would get sick on candy. I swear to God. Mom's like, what do you mean you don't want any lunch? I don't want any lunch. I'm not hungry, Mom. Okay. Shall we give him some white teeth? Should have given him fangs. I don't know what I was thinking. Kind of looks cool, though, doesn't he? And why didn't I sand him down and make him all pretty with oil? 'Cause he's a demon. Demons aren't pretty with oil. They wear nail polish from the dollar store. That's funny. Oh. And you know their teeth aren't probably this white. I doubt if they ever brush their teeth. Demons. I don't know about demons. Crazy fuckers. Okay. I'm gonna put a dot in the middle of your eyeball, give you some character and some life. Life. Dig into my bag of tricks. Well, I got purple. I guess that'll work. Or green. Ooh, green would look good too. I'm gonna do green. Oh, I broke it. What the hell? What? See, that's why it was only $1. Piece of crap. Ah, that's not good. Oh, man. Shit. We got a blowout of the right eye. Wow. See, you can tell I don't wear finger polish. I don't know what I'm doing. Crap. 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 It kind of worked out for her better, didn't it? Got that little green line under. That's not bad. Kind of like it. He's got on mascara. Hey, whatever happened to the days of mascara when the chick would cry, it would bleed all the way, the mascara would bleed all the way down the side of her face? I think nowadays it's like waterproof or something. I don't know. I haven't seen a crying mascara run in years. Technology. Such a good thing. Okay. Hey, that's kind of bad. Oh, I like that. A little green under. I'm going to have to put green under this one, too. That looked good. I like that. Son of a gun. Now, to put the glob in the center. See if I can do it without screwing it up again. Oh, that's better. Ta-da! Looks like he got a hold of a bad burrito from Taco Bell. Poor guy. Well, stay away from fast food, you dumb shit. Okay, now. How? Oop. Hey, your eye's bleeding. Go this way. Jiminy Christmas. You know, you should take better care of your eyes. How about I put a dot in the middle of it so it looks like he's got a sparkle in his eye? Twink. Come on, doink. Yeah, there he is. Well, hi there. I'm evil. Hey, Grump. Yeah, I looked at the screen right as Grumpy come on board. How you doing, dude? I'm about done here. It's been a ball. Sorry I missed all your conversations. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about me behind my back? Actually, you're over my shoulder, so you are kind of behind my back. Hey, talking about me behind my back. Yeah. I'm going to bow out, boys and girls. And thank you for watching Rymerpt, Robert C. Peters' YouTube channel. The makings of the Dollar Tree nail polish demon. Yeah. Oh shit. I'm out. Take care. Bye. Or I thought I was out. How do I get out of this? Start poll. Let's see. Live. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gone.